Good morning. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about personal safety and security, specifically related to recent events that have happened here between 35th and 156. So let's get right to it. So what we're going to talk about today is essentially situational awareness and how you can stay safe in our area. And I think part of the reason that we really want to present this and make sure that there's a proper level of gravitas on this subject matter is because it is known for the most part by police and enforcement agencies that the 156 triangle between the Gunnysack building, our admin headquarters, as well as the M&O facilities is one of the most active areas in Washington state when it comes to gang activities. So this is not intended to frighten anybody, but it's to make sure that you are aware of the realities of the situation that could occur here in the workplace, as well as pretty well anywhere else that you happen to be walking or driving or shopping and that sort of thing. So situational awareness is a skill system that you can actually use wherever you are. So let's take a look at what you can do to stay safer.
To me, situational awareness is a constant readiness when you are outside of your home. Not that you shouldn't be ready in your home as well, but anytime you're outside of those four walls of your home, it's important to make sure you're paying attention to what's going on around you. During our Sheepdog Response Protect or Run course, during our situational awareness brief, we reference Colonel Jeff Cooper's four-color framework. Condition white, which is that condition where we're completely unaware. In our opinion, the only time you should be in condition white is in the safety of your home. Then we move to what's known as condition yellow. That is a heightened sense of awareness, not hyper alert, but we're mindful and we're watchful of the things that are happening around us. Then we have condition orange. That is that heightened sense of alertness. Maybe we heard a loud sound, something that has really grabbed our attention. And from there, we move into condition red. That's danger zone. That's when it's time to act. So anytime you're moving in an urban environment, at a minimum, you should be in condition yellow. You know, one of the things that I see often that drives me crazy when I'm moving through urban environments, shopping centers, moving through downtown, even on neighborhood streets, one of the things that just drives me crazy is when I see a male that does not position his family or significant other on the inside away from moving threats. That is like one of the most simple things you can do to mitigate risk. You know, if it's your kids. I mean, kids see something and they can just dart out after it. I mean, those that have kids like me, you know you've been through that stage where they just react to whatever they see. So for me, positioning those kids on the inside away from traffic is a huge one. You know, when we talk about that positioning of that significant other or your kids, as a father, I always go to kids. In my opinion, that is one of the ways that helps me limit distractions by putting my kids and my family in the right position. That allows me to be more focused on what's happening in our external environment. You know, the last thing that you want to do is make a decision in a crisis. You want to think through those things when you're clear, when you're not under stress. So in that moment of stress, that moment that it's go time, you've already thought through the course of action that you're going to take. If you've never taken your mind to a place and even considered, what if this happened in scenario A or scenario B, your reaction is going to be slower than if you just simply even thought about how would I react if this potential threat happened in this scenario. I think, for example, like anytime you go into a restaurant, your positioning should be tactical. So when you walk into that restaurant, the place you ask to be seated, you want to be seated in a place that you can see and you have access to the entry points and exits. You know, just knowing where any potential exit is. It doesn't have to be a public exit. It can be a staff exit. You know, there's typically an exit through the kitchen. So if you see those double doors where the wait staff is coming in and out of, that is probably a potential exit for you. You have to think about these different ways in and out, because in an emergency situation, the stats show that most people really focus on the one entry they came in, so that can create a bottleneck. So you have to have your mind open and see different paths out, so you don't get stuck at that bottleneck that every regular person just got stuck in. Another thing that I think everyone should be aware of is how they move through enclosed walkways and alleyways. When we're moving through enclosed walkways like this or an alleyway, you have to be mindful of your spacing when it comes to moving around corners. For example, when I'm walking through a space like this, it's enclosed. I really don't know what's around that corner, right? So I want to make sure when I'm in, whether I'm moving downtown, I'm moving through enclosed walkway like this, I want to make sure I take a wide angle when I turn that corner. That allows me vision to see if there is a bad actor around that corner, because that would be a great hiding spot right there. And ultimately, it gives me two of the advantages that I really need in self-defense: time and space. All right, to sum all this up, guys, situational awareness is something that we all should be practicing in our daily lives. It's just like picking up any other new skill. The more you do it, the easier it becomes, and before you know it, it's something that you don't even think about. It's just the way you move through this world. So when you leave this video, at a minimum, I want everybody to be moving in condition yellow. Have that awareness of what's happening around you. Not buried in the cell phone. Don't have those ears plugged off to the world. Walking tall, walking with confidence. Just those two simple things of getting your eyes out of your phone, standing tall, walking with confidence. Those two things alone are going to go a long way when it comes to moving through any urban environment.
So, in a nutshell, situational awareness basically means that you're actively observing and comprehending your surroundings. And really, the key point that I think I'd like to make from this slide is that situational awareness is really a skill that can be learned, developed, improved, and adapted for any particular environment that you might be in. But it is definitely something that benefits from an active engagement, active involvement, and an active effort to implement. So here's some situations that can help you where you can develop that capability of being aware of your surroundings. Let's take a moment to recap the different levels of awareness that we're talking about. Essentially, what we are trying to do is train folks to be in the yellow awareness category. So that means that you're going to be relaxed, but you're also going to be aware and alert. That should be the default level of awareness that you're in at all times. And then if there is some event or incident or indicator that something may require you to become in basically resident in a elevated level of security, you would move to the orange and red accordingly. But we're trying to get into the habit of preventing people from just simply being in the white unaware category. They talk about that being a category that you should be able to be at home, but definitely not when you're out and about. So that's kind of what we're trying to condition people to understand, that being in that yellow category of awareness is the best one to be at all times that you're out and about. So these next two slides are basically going to be a summary of this particular program. And even though there's some things that might be repeated in them, the key thing is to develop a mindset that really kind of gives you the understanding of why it's important to be situationally aware. And this is not just simply for on the work site. This is something with your family, when you're out in public, when you're with friends as well. It's important to look at some of these key steps and tactical implementation efforts that you can take to improve your awareness at all times. So again, to finalize this presentation, I just want to emphasize once again that the intention is not to frighten people, but unfortunately we do live in a world, and we happen to be in an environment in which some of these issues are really important for us to keep at the forefront of our minds at all times. So the key thing is to be focused on any activity when you're leaving the facility. If you're walking through a parking lot here, at a shopping mall, or anywhere, Just be alert to anything that may present itself as a threat to you. If there's something uncomfortable, if something different in the environment that you don't expect or that something looks out of place, be alert, plan your actions, and be decisive. That's really what it's all about. And if you can do that, you can keep yourself safe and you can keep your loved ones and your coworkers safe. So practice situational awareness, be alert, and most importantly, remain safe, Alderwood. Thank you.